Plaintiff Elisha Carter says she met the defendant when she was 19 years old, and after they had sex, Elisha got pregnant. Elisha claims the defendant denied paternity, then went to prison for over 4 years. Elisha is suing the defendant for child expenses. Defendant Leonard Sharp believes he wore protection every time he and Elisha had sex, and that's why he had doubts about being the father. Leonard claims he saw the baby one time before going to prison, and he's petitioning the court today for a paternity test.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, so I met the defendant, Mr. Sharp, Braylon's dad, in 2011. I was 19 in Arizona. We were just having fun, and we had mutual friends, and we had sex, and I got pregnant. And then, like, he was denying, like, my son, and, like, saying, like, it ain't his, like, go get an abortion. And then, like, later on down the line, he ended up, like, catching a case and going to prison.
How old was the child when he went to prison? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
His case started when I was pregnant. So, like, when I had my son, he was already, like, out here, like, fighting the case. So for 4.5 years, he didn't see my son. So when he finally...
When he went behind bars, how old was the child when you went behind bars?
A few months. He was born in June of 2013. I mean, of 2012.
2012.
And I went to prison November 2013.
Okay, so up until that time, he had not accepted paternity, or he embraced you and the child? Or?
He kept denying, like, the baby's not mine.
So when he went to prison, he was still saying it wasn't his?
Yes, until a certain time up, and then he understood, like, okay, you know, it clicked in his head, I guess, like, he has a child with me, and, like, he was talking, like, okay, when
How old was the child when he acknowledged?
I would say about 2.
Okay, and what has it been like since then?
It has been hell.
How so?
He's a manipulative type of person, because I'm younger than him.
What does he do?
Like, try to control my social media, what I'm posting or what I'm doing in my social life. Would he
try and see his child, or would he meet his financial responsibilities?
He'll do a birthday here and there. Like, it'll be like, it wouldn't be consistent. He's a sometime dad.
Was he working?
He has not been working.
Okay. And lastly, on average, how much has he come or called to see the child?
He barely calls his son. Like, I feel like I'm forcing a relationship with him and my son.
Barely is how often to you?
Once every 3 weeks.
Okay, you give me some background, sir.
I met the plaintiff in 2011, I believe, fall of 2011. I used to travel back and forth to Arizona for business.
Come on, man. Where you think the judge is from, man?
I believed it.
Yeah, right.
You got me there.
How many pounds are we? 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500? Y'all filling up the U-Haul. You didn't get caught speeding on the freeway, did you? With the bad license plates and all that. I know so many fools. They carry 500 pounds of weed, speeding, going to Arizona.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap there, but I was there for business, Your Honor.
Yeah, that business. Go ahead. Let me leave it alone, man. Go what?
Okay. So I met her, I believe, in the fall of 2011. Again, like she mentioned, through mutual friends. She was young, you know, a little thick, and I was interested. She promised me a good time, a threesome, a foursome.
He's lying.
With her and some of her buddies.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Now she know. I guess it's been some time, and she getting senile or something. I'm not sure, Your Honor, but like I said, we ended up embarking on a journey. We had sex the same night we met. Unfortunately, the threesome didn't transpire as promised, but we did have sex.
We did not have sex the same night we met, because he was in there with someone else the same night we met.
Well, she should have been in there. She came in after the fact. And I did have sex with her.
I was not there after the fact. I was not even there the same night. I left home.
Well, you know, it's her story. I'm gonna let her tell it. You know, even though she had a chance and she didn't mention it, I'm mentioning it in my part of the story because it's an accurate assertion. After we had sex the initial night, I believe I stayed in Arizona another night or two, and we had sex once or twice again. Usually I wear protection, but these young girls nowadays like to slip you these big Magnum condoms, and I can't fit them. So I don't really know what happened with that, you know, so. But I did have protection. You know, I had my own protection, and then I wore some of her protection. I don't know if she poked a hole or it slipped off. I don't even remember what happened. I was under the influence.
He never had protection on him.
I don't know what happened. So immediately I was in doubt.
Go ahead.
When she told me she was pregnant, I traveled back to Arizona probably 3-4 times in the course of a couple months. But I did tell her, you know, I live a lifestyle where I'm in the streets. I could get shot, I could go to prison, anything can happen. And you 1,600 miles away from me. I don't know how good of a dad I could be, and I already had 3 other kids. Sometime in the beginning of 2012, I said, you know what? You know, I think I'm gonna make Arizona my home. In April of 2012, I got a phone call out the blue saying, hey, come back home to Illinois. Your brother was murdered. So it was unfortunate, but I traveled back to Illinois to acknowledge what had took place there. And while I was there, the feds picked me up for an old case from 2008 that was approximately 4.5 years old. So, you know, in the process of grieving, I'm faced with a federal indictment. They put me on house arrest on pretrial services, so I fought the case for 18 months. And during the time I was fighting the case, she gave birth. I had a great attorney. He allowed me to put in a motion, or he assisted me in putting in a motion, and I was able to travel back to Arizona. One time, the baby was an infant, but I did see the baby. I thought the baby looked like me, but with a lifestyle, I just really couldn't be sure. Eventually, I went back to Chicago. I self-surrendered, went to federal prison, and I did 3 years. In the course of the 3 years, I sent her money a couple times off my books for the baby.
All right.
Ma'am?
He sounds convincing.
Yeah.
So you're suing him about child expenses. Let's get to that part.
Correct. So in the midst of all of this, like, yeah, he is telling the truth. Like, his family is really supportive. And they tell me about his character and, like, how, like, he's a good person in the community and, like, with his nieces and stuff.
Well,
but,
since he returned from...
Yes.
Okay, good. You are you what you're doing since you come home? Let me get to this, ma'am. You raised something that I want to know about. What you've been doing since you come home?
I'm mentoring kids. I started a foundation called Brothers Moving Forward.
Brothers Moving Forward?
Yeah, so we pretty active in the community. We give back to the homeless. We mentor kids. I wrote the first of a 3-part series here, a book, Exit 312. I bought one for you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so it's the first of a 3-part series about overcoming the struggle. I just want to let, you know, people involved in that way of life know that there's 2 sides to every coin, and everything that glitters not gold. So I just want to be an example of that side and tell them, if you did what I did, you're going to get what I got, and it's really not worth it.
Yeah, I applaud you because you're the type of mentor that these young people who live in impoverished areas listen to. So I applaud you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But on the financial side, you tell me how that's been, because that's your primary lawsuit, it appears, for $1,400.
Correct. So from 9/17 to March 2018, he was like, he'll give me $200 a month for my son, which that don't even really cover our daycare, but that's not the point. He said he's gonna give me $200 a month. He hasn't been giving me the money like he said. Like, sometimes he'll give me $100 here and there, but not $200.
You never sought out a court order for child support?
We have one ongoing, actually. He refuses. No, I don't have it with me, but it's in the state of Arizona, but he refuses to do the DNA test. But since we did one here, we all good and set to go.
Sir, what do you want to say about this?
Well, you know, in my honest opinion, I believe the child do look like me in the case. But with a young woman of her magnitude, you never really could be too sure.
I mean, he has 4 kids with 4 different mothers in 3 different states. So he was Papa.
How old are they? How old are your
kids?
12, 9, 8, 5.
Okay. All right, that's when he was in the street. So he's changed his life now.
He has 2 alleged kids as well out in Chicago.
You say alleged. So my point is, all that is in his past. I think he's changing his life. I think he's going to support those children the best he can, both financially and emotionally. I just believe it. But we're going to get to test. A lot of young men don't want to go to child support court or the child support agency to assess their child support, but I think that's the best route, because what happens is if you pay out your pocket, you have to rely on her telling the judge when there is an issue that she was satisfied with the amount you've given her in the past. But that depends on her mood that day. She called, how, well, Your Honor, or magistrate, I've given her $200 a month for the last. No, I hadn't. I haven't given you $200. Nope. You gave me a thing. No, nothing about it. You don't remember me giving you? Nope.
That's not me.
Show me some receipts. I don't have no receipts. I gave you the money cash. Nope, don't remember it, don't know nothing about it. So the judge doesn't give you credit for that. You could have done that for 3 years. So you better handle things a little better. You are the father.
I mean, you do that.
And do you want to pay the $1,400, sir?
I got a payout here where basically I got $300 sent and $500 sent and the time in question, so that would leave me to owe approximately $600.
Okay.
I got a ton of receipts.
You willing to pay the $600?
Well, you know what? You know what, Yana?
I don't think those receipts is applicable.
Sir.
Yes, Yana.
Thank you, man. I done built you up. I done sold books for you. I done built, man, you done play crazy over $600. Good luck for both of you, you and your child as well. Have a good day.
Oh, he's cute.
Good to see you, man. No, your mom brought me here trying to sue me, man. Look at her.
Chicken nuggets ain't cheap. You always want chicken nuggets.
Thanks. Y'all take care of y'all kids. All right, thanks.